This logo does not mean that your buoyancy aid has 50 newtons of buoyancy. You might be wearing the wrong buoyancy aid without realising it. This 50 newton buoyancy aid only has 35 newtons, whereas this one has 70. This is a 100 newton life jacket and it only has 40. In the next few minutes I'm going to explain about buoyancy aids, life jackets and PFDs. A PFD is a personal flotation device. This is the generic term for a device that helps us to float in the water. Buoyancy aids and life jackets are both types of PFD. The newton is the standard measure of force. Because of gravity, a 5.1 kilogram weight will exert a force of 50 newtons. Or, imagine holding 10 500ml bottles of water. That's roughly the same force that a 50 newton buoyancy aid will provide in upwards thrust. There are several different categories for buoyancy aid or life jacket approval. There are also several different types of certification. In the UK and Europe, life jackets are required to meet the International Standards Organisation Standard 12402. They may also carry an EN number for European approval. Elsewhere in the world, it might be different, with approval by the US Coast Guard as an example. They have different buoyancy categories too. The ISO standards are split into subcategories. The pictures relate to the category that the item is compliant with. The categories are intended for different operating areas. A 50 newton buoyancy aid is for people who can swim, operating on sheltered or inland waters with help close to hand. A 100 newton life jacket offers a higher level of support for people in sheltered and calm waters. A 150 newton life jacket is for general offshore use, and the 275 newton category considers the most extreme conditions. This picture confirms the item falls into the 50 newton category. The relevant ISO number is also displayed. The ISO regulations cover requirements for things like buoyancy, design, performance, the materials used, operational areas, and even the information that needs to be given to the user. The buoyancy ratings are for adult sizes, so smaller sizes may have proportionately less buoyancy and still fit into that category. A 50 newton category buoyancy aid is recommended for people who can swim in sheltered waters where help is close at hand. This is the most common category of buoyancy for activities like dinghy sailing, windsurfing, water skiing and paddling. The amount of buoyancy is shown on the size chart. You need to be careful here that you get the size that is suitable for your weight so that you have enough buoyancy. However, it also needs to fit your body properly. It is possible that certain buoyancy aids just aren't compatible for you. In this example, the next size down has 10 newtons less buoyancy, which is not enough for this sailor. This buoyancy aid is designed for use in whitewater. The different sizes range from 60 to 75 newtons of buoyancy, because your body is subject to the force of moving water and aerated water is less dense, so it's harder to float. It's still a 50 newton category approved device, it just exceeds the minimum buoyancy requirements. So, what's a life jacket? This is a 150 newton category life jacket, designed for general use on coastal and offshore waters. It's one size fits all for anyone over 30 kilograms and a minimum of 150 newtons of buoyancy. It should turn an unconscious person onto their back to keep the user's face out of the water. This comes with a caveat that its performance might be affected by heavy clothing and the conditions. A 275 Newton life jacket does the same thing in more extreme conditions and for those wearing heavy clothing. The majority of life jackets in the 150 or 275 Newton range are gas inflation life jackets, which fill up with compressed air from a can. This is because a foam-filled jacket with that amount of buoyancy is pretty bulky. Gas jackets are available in automatic or manual variants and can be topped up if necessary. Every time you set off a gas life jacket, you need to repack it and rearm it with a new gas can, so it can be impractical and expensive if you fall in a lot. The 100 Newton category life jacket is a bit of a halfway house then. They are recommended for use in sheltered and calm waters, but unlike a buoyancy aid, the 100 Newton category does not detail that help should be close at hand, so the operating environment is a little larger. However, they are not suitable for an unconscious person like the 150 Newton category is. Here's a 100 Newton category child's life jacket and a 50 Newton category child's buoyancy aid. In the junior sizes to suit a 30 to 40 kilogram child, the life jacket has 50 newtons of buoyancy compared to the 35 in the buoyancy aid. In the life jacket, the buoyancy is positioned towards the front and around the neck to help the user to float face up in the water. In the context of sailing or paddling in sheltered waters, if the child was a confident swimmer, I'd give them a buoyancy aid, and if not, I'd give them the life jacket so they're better supported in the water. If you're sailing a yacht on the sea, a 150 Newton category life jacket would be more suitable. So, when you're buying a buoyancy aid or life jacket, here's a checklist. Make sure you get the right category for your intended use and location. You need the size that has the correct weight range and buoyancy for the user. It needs to be a snug fit so that it doesn't ride up your body. A large pocket is a great idea to keep your essential safety kit in. I hope you found this useful. Here's a few more videos you might like. Subscribe to keep up to date and hit the like button if you find it helpful. Thanks.